This is one of the best classes we've ever done, Jimmy, to be clear.
Hmm.
Going through the slides, building out the tactics, like it's really, really good. So for those of you that are old school like me, please grab a pen and paper. You're going to want to take a lot of notes. And today's class is brought to you by Beacon, our new startup. We got our shirts on today. It's
That's
also
right.
brought to you by our buddies over at Breakthrough Broker. So thank you to Eric and his team for inviting a bunch of people on the call today, too. We're going to give them a plug in a little bit, but basically, they are really, really good with direct mail, postcards, letters. They've got a ton of stuff, more than just that. But I wanted to thank Eric for helping promote this. We have over 2,000 people registered. We're going to have almost 1,000 on the call. So this is exciting. But Jimmy, let me go through the agenda with everybody because I want to be super specific here about what we're going to go through. And this will get everybody excited. But I want you to think about the way a listing unfolds. So go to the next slide, Jimmy, for 1 second. And if you think about just kind of the way a listing works left to right, there's stages. So that you have the pre-appointment before you even go to their house. You have the appointment. You have the coming soon opportunity almost everywhere at this point. You can do that. You have the just listed. You have the open house. You have the just sold. You have the post sale. We're also going to talk in a second about the price reductions, which are becoming more and more common. But if you go back now, Jimmy, to the slide prior, what I wanted to walk you guys through is the steps that we're going to go through line up perfectly with the stages of a listing. So we've got tactics that are viral across every platform. We've got tactics for every stage. So the pre-appointment tactics, the exclusivity ends, the infinite referral script. We're going to show you the faux quiz. We're going to show you the most viral content formula, including a ridiculous prompt that's really, really good. We're going to show you how to get leads on Instagram, how to get leads with your open houses, solds. And then we're going to talk about Beacon because that is another way to turn your listing into more listings. So I wanted to just, before I throw it to you, Jimmy, I wanted to define viral because I don't think there's a, when we think of viral, like what do you when I say viral video, what do you think of first, Jimmy?
To me, it's a video that just gets lots and lots and lots of views. A video
Mm-hmm.
that is getting tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of views is the my
Mm-hmm.
instant reaction to that.
Yeah. Like the kombucha girl. Do you remember that one? Kind of like a meme.
Yes.
I mean, there's Charlie bit my finger.
Hmm.
These are things that went viral. Remember the guy who was in his office on a Zoom and then the kid
His
ran
wife came
into the
in. Yeah.
background and the
Yes.
wife came diving after the child.
Yep.
So, that is obviously one definition of viral. But
Hmm.
I want to give you guys the right way to think about making something go viral. So I'm going to ask in the chat really quickly, and I want you guys to be really honest about this answer. Okay. When you post something on Instagram or Facebook, how many comments on average do you get? On average, your average post. I want to see some of the answers here. 2, 3, 2 to 5, 6, 4 to 5, very few, 10. Yeah. So, Jimmy, everybody's under 10, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, Shelly, 20 plus. You guys should all go check out Shelly, see what she's doing. And I personally get hundreds and thousands. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody's different. So the way that I think about it is very simple. I want you to think about that number that you just had, and then think about the same question for video views. Think about the same question for link clicks in an email. Think
Hmm.
about the same question for your open rate. You really want to establish your baseline, right? What is your baseline number? So as an example, my baseline Instagram post gets 1,000 likes. Okay. Well, for me, viral would be 10,000, 8,000, 7,000. That's me going viral in my little world. So if you're, just dropped in the comments that you're a realtor that gets 4 comments on your normal post, and you were to deploy a tactic today that got you 8 or 12, that's viral in your world. It's all perspective. It's all about making what you're doing already 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 times more effective. So I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to define that because there's a lot of realtors go viral. Tampa Bree is going viral, Jimmy, like the traditional sense,
Mm-hmm.
but she's cussing and it's a little lowbrow, and a lot of people are turned off by it. So there's usually humor goes viral, like
Yeah.
political takes go viral, thirst traps go viral. Like there's certain kind of content that does better than others, but here's the good news. You're starting with something that has a chance to go viral when you're talking about a house.
Mm-hmm.
Listings are insanely popular in the world we live in. Listings are huge. What is the main conversation this week about, Jimmy? What is the biggest conversation, probably like just period, that happened this week that is related to our industry?
Well, I think the one that immediately jumps to my mind, and maybe it's not the one you're thinking about, but it's the 50-year mortgage. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
see a post about that without seeing something talk about whether, how great of an idea it is or how terrible of an idea it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real estate, when there's a meaningful change in the real estate market, it,
Mhm.
it, it isn't just real estate news, it's national or global news.
It is. And to have it, top of mind with consumers, Tina's talking about portable mortgages,
Yeah.
assumable mortgages. Like, listings and real estate are a hot button topic. And not just in the negative sense of like debating the 50-year mortgage, like HGTV, Zillow, these are viral real estate centric. Like, I think right now, owning Manhattan,
Hmm.
selling Sunset. Like,
Yeah.
people freaking love real estate. So the good news is we're not dentists, you know? Like, the good news is we are in an industry that actually people really care a lot about the thing that it is that we sell. So,
Hmm.
Jimmy, we're going to go through all 9 tactics. When we get to the halfway point, we're going to talk a little bit about Beacon. And then at the end of the call, I'm going to go through how all of you are going to get the recording, you are going to get the slides. It's just going to be for a very limited time only. But let's get into it. And the stage of the listing that we don't have on that listing stage is price reduction. And you did a little bit of research on this. Why don't you share with people kind of the state of the listing life cycle?
Yeah, well, right before I share that, I think one thing I would have everybody write down right now, something, just a quick note for yourself, something that kind of gives you a little bit of a North Star as we talk about these different strategies, because this is going to be jam-packed with a lot of ideas that we've never shared before in any format or any webinar or any live event. But if you're thinking about your business and you're thinking about going viral, remember one thing, which is if you want a bigger business, it starts with a bigger audience. And the way that we think about this is so much of what we do in marketing is creating more awareness, more attention, building our audiences so we can build the underlying businesses that we have to support ourselves. So going from 10 comments to 25 comments, going from 100 people opening your email to 200 people opening your email, that's a big deal. And that's what we really want to instill in you, is this basic idea that a bigger business starts with a bigger audience. Now, let's talk about price reductions and sort of the market real quick. This is some data you should definitely know. Since 2021, we have seen a 300% increase in the days on market. This is not just like the Phoenixes and the Miamis and the Torontos. I mean, virtually every market across North America, we are seeing days on market increase. Now, you can point to affordability, you can point to demand, you can point to the fact that home prices have been going up, but the facts remain that we're now entering a world where we have a lot of markets. If you follow Lance Lambert, who's a great sort of analyst on this with Resi Club, we have a lot of markets that are well above, in terms of inventory, their pre-pandemic levels. Additionally, price reductions are front and center on people's minds. We've seen a 124% increase in the number of price reductions just over the last 4 years, and that number is only going up. As more competition rises, as more people enter the market, as days on market sort of drag on, you're seeing this becoming what was something we never had to talk about. Now this is becoming a regular conversation. And the one that really jumps out to me
Mhm.
is the last one here, Chris, which is 1 in 4 listings across the US are expiring. In some markets, that's much higher, some markets a little bit lower, but approximately 1 out of every 4 listings is expiring. And I think
Mhm.
so much of that comes down to what is your marketing plan and what
Mhm.
is your communication plan? Because you can't just have one without the other. And so I
Yeah.
think as we sort of look to the future here, we want to, before we get into the first sort of strategy, like we have to
Mhm.
realize that these market figures, these data points are going to drive our strategy.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, let me do this since you brought that up. I'm actually going to pull up a quiz, and this will give us a good feel for who's on the call and what some of those things you just mentioned are for them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 4 quick questions that we want you guys to answer. Number one is just how many listings do you sell per year? This entire class today is about promoting your listings. It's about promoting the listings you have and making your listings go viral. The second one is very simple. Are your days on market going up or down? The third one is about communication that Jimmy just mentioned. How important is it that you are communicating with your seller? How important would they say it is? Is it not important? Is it critical? Is it very important? And then the last thing, which is something we're really trying to pioneer, I think, Jimmy, is every realtor has a marketing plan in their
Mm-hmm.
listing presentation. But the fourth and final question is pretty straightforward. Do you have a communication plan?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you actually have slides and do you actually have a talk track in your deck that is about how you'll communicate? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it email? Is it a report? Is it a text? Like,
Could be, could be.
because if I were to ask Jimmy, if I were to say, how many of you have a marketing plan in your
Mm-hmm.
listing presentation? My guess, I'm not 100% sure, but my guess would be that it would be probably 95%. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's some outliers that just wing it. But we'll find out here in a second. We have over 50% of the people have answered the poll. So I'm going to end the poll and we will share the stats very quickly. There's 23 people with more than 50 listings a year.
Mm-hmm.
There's, geez, 105 right there in that 11 to 20 range. But you know what's cool? Every single person on the call has listings, Jimmy, which is
Mm-hmm.
really nice. Like, you probably shouldn't come to a class about marketing your listings if you don't have any. Uh, this one's pretty wild. I don't. It doesn't give me a percentage, but it looks like 95% of the market stays on market is going up.
Yep. Yep.
Almost
93%.
everywhere.
Yep.
Literally 361 said yes, 27 said down. And then this one's crazy. Like, there's almost 400 people that answered. You can't ever get 400 people to agree on anything, but all 400 people just agreed that communicating with your seller is at least somewhat important.
Mm-hmm.
But way more than half of the people said it's critical. And then, you're all saying it's critical, but 120 of you don't have a communication plan. So I think if you learn nothing else today, it's that communication is king.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. And Chris, just to build on that real quickly before we get back to the deck, it is what we're realizing, especially when for the 96% of you who said that your days on market are increasing. One thing that we've
Mm-hmm.
know being in this industry for now over 15 years is that we remember when homes would sit in the market for 6 or 8 or 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing is agents are having to have, and I know you guys can relate to this because I see a lot of familiar faces on today's call with us. You're now having to have what I would refer to as 10 to 15 critical conversations with your seller.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, the first 4 weeks of the listing are the honeymoon phase. You bring them across the market, you make some, promote it, you advertise it, you get it out there to more people. It's exciting. But by week 4, if there isn't a plan in place to continuously update the seller on what's happening, they lose confidence. And when they lose confidence, they lose trust. And when they lose trust, the listing gets pulled. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
we've seen this massive increase. In fact, Chris, just I didn't have this data point, but in terms of expired listings, yeah, it's one out of every four right now, but it's actually been a 57% increase. Talking to my friend David Childers at KCM earlier this week,
Mm-hmm.
57% increase year to date. So think about that for a second. This problem is only going to become more pronounced as the market continues to shift towards this more of like 2015, 2017 market. So Chris,
Yeah.
why don't we get into strategy number one?
Let's
Because
do
you
it.
you shared the listing life cycle, and I'll dive into the first campaign here for you. But this is the like if Chris and I were your chief marketing officers and we were responsible for helping you take every listing you have right now and market the heck out of it to help you get more listings,
Mm-hmm.
we would implement this plan. So
Mm-hmm.
number one, this is by the way, this is one of nine that we're going to cover today.
Yeah.
Number one is what we refer to as a three-step pre-appointment checklist.
Mm-hmm.
And this is number one, alert your database. Number two, alert your farm. And number three, alert your followers. So a really good agent is going to, before the home is even signed, before the agreement is even signed, they're
Mm-hmm.
taking the appointment and they're turning that into a marketable moment. So let's go
Mm.
through alerting your database. This
Are
is,
you allowed to do that, Jimmy? I'm guessing some people would want to know, is that legal?
oh
If
yeah,
you
it's a great call out. So if this is the thing, you cannot promote a listing
mm-hmm.
typically more than 24 hours before it's available to the general public. Now there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of controversy around that, but we're not going to promote a listing.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to promote an appointment, and
Ah,
there is no clear cooperation around promoting an appointment.
yeah.
And so everyone who's been, I've taught the strategy now to thousands of agents. I have not had a single agent call me up and say, hey, Jimmy, my MLS fined me for this. And by the
Yeah.
way, if they did, Chris, it
Mm-hmm.
would be worth it, in my opinion. I
Well,
mean,
the thing that you have to do is just don't put the address in what you're about to say.
yeah, like the less
Yeah.
information, the better. So Amy's like, we're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to do coming soon, but just hang with us here. We're
Yeah.
not promoting a listing, we're promoting an appointment. So hey, I might get fined for sending you this as a realtor. We're not allowed to publicly promote a listing until 24 hours before it goes live.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not a listing, it's an appointment. I'm meeting with a seller today who's been thinking about selling. And what I can tell you is if they do decide to list, this home is going to go viral on Zillow or like
Mm.
realtor.ca. I'll circle back with an update later today. Wish me luck. So Chris,
Mm.
I'm sending that email out. That's step one.
Mm-hmm.
Step two is I'm sending out what I refer to as a quick home value letter to all of the neighbors. Now, every agent in the chat, let me know when
Mm-hmm.
you go on a listing appointment, do you prepare, just say yes or no in the chat, do you prepare a CMA?
Mm-hmm.
In the chat, yes or no. Do you prepare a CMA? And you can say
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Of course you do, right? Who wouldn't? Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you do a CMA, Chris, you're going to do a CMA based on like you're going to look at the neighborhood, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go like if you're a good agent, you're going to go do a deep analysis of the neighborhood. Any
Mm-hmm.
homes have been withdrawn, any price reductions, any sales, any new listings. Well, you probably now learn more about that neighborhood than you probably
Mm-hmm.
knew prior to having this appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a point of leverage. So I'm going to give you this is a campaign my friend Steve used to get a listing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
take your appointment, turn into a listing. He sent this letter out, which
Mm-hmm.
is, hey neighbor, I recently completed a home value update for one of your neighbors. It turns out they gained $38,000 in equity in the last 2 years. You live in a highly desirable neighborhood, which might be the reason why three houses have gone under contract in insert a time frame.
Townhomes. Yep.
Yeah. Townhouses have gone on contract. To find out how much your home value has increased in the last 12 months, text me your blank. I'll prepare one for your home. So what we're doing with this,
Beautiful.
Chris, like we're just, by the way, just shout out to our friends at Breakthrough Broker. You can take your listing, draw
Mm-hmm.
a circle around the listing, find
Mm-hmm.
any homes. Yes, it is a listing leads, Nick. Find any homes that are, let's say, like within, quarter mile or a mile of the property and say have
Yeah.
owned the house for more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you can do is then mail this letter. So again, Chris, we haven't even secured the listing, but I've sent an email out. And
Mm-hmm.
then now I've also done a direct mail campaign out to my farm around the listing. This is traditionally called
Yeah.
circle prospecting.
Can you go back one
Yep.
slide for me? Because there's one thing I would change about this.
Yeah.
And, clearly you can't put the address, but you could put the neighborhood.
Mm. Yep.
I would put the neighborhood in there. That was the one thing that didn't jump out to me. Like, I'm meeting with a seller today who lives in Avalon Park
Yep.
at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I would change. Now, with the direct mail, you obviously already know where you're mailing it to, but
Yep.
uh you don't know where everybody here lives per se. I
Mm-hmm.
love the letter though. This is how really smart marketers think. They
Mm-hmm.
think, I've got an asset that's valuable. That asset is a listing. How can I turn that asset into more assets? And by the way, I didn't know that they did this, but you can actually do your mail through Breakthrough Broker. So props to
Mm-hmm.
them. They have like a print service. It's really good. And you can even use their tool to get the addresses for the neighborhoods that you need. So
That's exactly right. That's
number
exactly right.
one is the email. And let me throw one other thing out there.
Yep.
This could have been an email, and that could have been the email could have been a letter. Like
That's right.
and by the way, the email, because not everybody has a big database and not
Mm-hmm.
everybody sends emails, Jimmy, but everybody uses social. So what I would do is, if you go back to the email, I would
Mm-hmm.
take that, and you guys can do this like during the call, screenshot that email,
Yep.
go to ChatGPT and say, rewrite this as a post for my Facebook friends that will get as many comments as possible from people who want the details.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we talk about viral. This is one of my tricks. And I'm like a legit AI, like crazy nut power user.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to use terminology with your prompts, like as many comments as possible, as many
Mm-hmm.
shares. I'll say, write an Instagram caption that gets as many realtors as possible to share it in their stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just take this and make it a LinkedIn post, make it a Facebook post. You could go across the board. What's the third one? Because these first two are black and white. The thing that's sort of missing is the realtor.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go ahead and make sure that I'll share my screen here because I'm gonna update it real quick, and I'm gonna try to make sure I
Mm-hmm,
can share the sound. But I want to just call out, Chris, real quick, what you just said there, which is
mm-hmm.
I love the pro tip on leveraging the ability to basically use the prompt. And could you just explain that one more time? Because I want to make sure people don't miss it, which is when you create the prompt, what is the
Mm-hmm.
one line that you would use when you're maybe personalizing some of these campaigns that we're sharing to make
Yeah,
sure we get the most
it's
engagement?
literally just two things. It
Yep.
would be, because you guys are all going to get the slides, or you can do screenshots as we go. But it would. By the way, just props to the attendees. It was 777. That was cool. There's two things. Step one is, what platform and audience is it for? So in this case, it was, I want to rewrite this for my Facebook friends. And then step two would be the desired outcome, which is as many comments as humanly possible.
Yep. Love that. And we'll make notes of that too, and we'll share that in the recording. So,
Mm-hmm,
Chris, number three here, I'm going to play this video because,
mm-hmm,
again, we're just on step number one here, which is when you create get an appointment from whatever
mm-hmm.
source, SOI, farm, PPC, Zillow leads, I don't care. You're doing these three things to create more opportunities. So, this is the video Jason Cassidy shot, and I'll play just a short clip of this. And let me know, Chris, if you can hear this okay.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, told you,
Yep.
can't
We
show
can hear
that
it.
yet. I'm standing in front of my new listing here in Pacific Beach, but because of clear cooperation, I can't give you the address or the price. Now, what I can do is tell you all about the area. For example, I'm standing right on Thomas Avenue between Jewel and Kendall, just 9 blocks from the beach. And I can't talk about like price and comps or anything because clear cooperation, of course. But if I were to sell a house in this neighborhood, I don't know, I think I'd probably list it between like 2 and 2.25 million, give or take. So again, because of clear cooperation, can't tell you all about my new listing. But if you're interested in the Pacific Beach area, namely homes on Thomas between Jewel and Kendall that are about 9 blocks from the beach, ranging from about 2 to 2.25 million, maybe reach out to me, shoot me a message, and we'll see.
So, let me
That
back
was
up.
great. That
So, he
was
did.
the most least specific information that I've ever heard. And I think everybody will have a different comfort level with that, Jimmy, to be
Sure.
clear. Like I think
Sure.
some people would not stand in front of the house, as an example. Like he could have did that video from the beach. You know what I mean?
He could have. Let me just call
Yeah.
out. He did get fined for that video, by the way, for the record. So
Yeah.
he was he
You
did.
can't say
I,
clear cooperation that many times and not
I
get
think it's probably that. So, but it was a brilliant example of this idea. If we go back to the very beginning here for a hot
We
second.
lost you, by the way, Jimmy. There we go.
Okay, so we go back
Yeah.
for just a hot second, Chris, which
Mhm.
is go back to step one, which is alert your database, alert your farm, alert your followers. And guys, you guys will
Perfect.
get the recording, you get the slide. We'll give you some information on that at the end. Chris, we got
Mhm.
to keep it rolling here because we have so much to cover today.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into number two here in the list, which is coming soon. This one's really quick
Mhm.
and easy and very, very simple, which is
Mhm.
everyone has this sort of period of time where they can promote the home. The only thing that I want you to do with the coming soon, the only
Mhm.
thing I want you to do with the coming soon, which is a little bit different than the pre-appointment, is instead of saying coming soon, new home available in Avalon Park, what I
Mhm.
want you to do is I want you to take a page out of the playbook of all the streaming services. So if you
Mhm.
log into Netflix right now, Chris, and you go to your like main feed and you
Yeah.
look at your account, you're going to see movies that they're saying, hey, recently added. And then you'll see movies where it's saying like basically leaves soon. Like usually
Yeah.
like leaves within 24 hours or leaves
Well,
in
they have notify me too, which always pisses me off because I'll see something that looks great, but all you can do is subscribe to get alerted when it drops.
That's exactly right. So what you're looking at right now is instead of using the coming soon, I'm saying, listen, exclusivity ends in 24 hours. So I'm
Mhm.
creating scarcity. It's the old PT bottom line, which is nothing draws a crowd quite like a crowd. And then
Mhm.
what I'm doing with this one is I'm giving a little bit more information. I'm saying, hey, if you want the price and details and location, here's my cell. And then
Yeah.
I actually am going to include a photo of the property.
Yep.
Very simple. This can, of course, by the way, this could 100% be a text message as well, beyond just
Yeah.
being an email.
And
So,
Jimmy, just stop the share and reshare it. Sometimes people draw on the screen on accident. But
okay, there.
I love that
sorry.
idea. And I have to say, like, I would much rather get emails like this from my realtor than a traditional just listing alert email that feels really canned because this makes me feel like an insider, you know?
Exactly.
And
That's
the
exactly
only
right.
thing I would change is I wouldn't say call. I would say text,
Yep.
or I would say text or call. Like I would like be really specific with that too. I would say if you're looking to make an offer on a home in the next 30 days, call me. If you're looking for in the next 90 days, text me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It's a
Mhm.
great. That's a great example of
Hi, how are you,
using
Tara
qualifying
C8?
copy. And of course, we got somebody who's not muted.
Yeah.
This is a great example of using this idea of like a calibrated call to action. So
Mhm.
just in case you guys missed that point that Chris brought up, which is if you're trying to identify someone's time frame,
Mhm.
you can use a calibrated call to action. So if you want me to get you the information right away because you're looking to make a move before the end of the year, text me.
Mhm.
If you just
Yep.
want to get some information, feel free to email me back.
Yeah. And then by the way, you can do that with your CMA stuff too, because you can say, if you want
Mhm.
to know how much your home is worth, reply and let me know. But if you're thinking of selling it soon, I'll do a much more detailed analysis.
Yep.
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 All
Giving
right,
them the
cool.
option.
Coming
Number
soon.
number
Yep.
three here, Chris. I think
Mhm.
the biggest mistake that agents make when it
Mhm.
comes to their listings is not letting their sphere of influence know they've got a new
Mhm.
home hit the market.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to give you guys a pro tip here that's going to allow you to generate 10 to 20 additional referrals every single year
Mhm.
using your listings. And we refer to this as the infinite referral script. So if I'm Nick Shoemaker, who's on the call with us right now, shout out to my friend Nashville Nick. I might say to if she's reaching out to, let's say, Tom, I'd say, hey Tom, I know you're not currently looking to move, but since you're so well connected, that's called priming, I wanted to reach out. I got a new listing, it's about to hit the market. I think it's going to sell pretty quickly. Think
Mhm.
it might be worth sharing with someone you know. So if
Mhm.
I got a new listing, Chris, we had people on today's call, many people who have 30, 40, 50 homes a year they sell. If I've got a home that I know is a good home, priced well in a good area, it's going to sell, let's say not like in 3 days, but sell faster than the average home in the market.
Mhm.
I would want to let my sphere know. And so
Mhm.
this is me creating referral conversations on the back of a listing. Now, I'm telling them this before the home hits the market. This is still kind of when the home is, let's say, 24 hours out or 48
Mhm.
hours out from basically being available to everyone.
Yeah.
That's when I'm sending this message. And then in
Mhm.
addition to that, Chris, I'm also going to use this exact script, which is
Mm-hmm.
subject line, forward to a friend. On 24 hours, our newest listings going to be blasted across the internet. That means right now in this moment, you have something only a few people have, early access. And then I just talk about why I think this home's great. And I also add this line, which is I know might be the wrong time for you to make a move, but I wanted to share this with you because you likely have a friend or family member who's looking to make this exact for this exact home. Now, what I'm doing is I'm setting the Chris, follow the logic here. I'm setting the text to my clients. I'm sending the email to my prospects.
Got it.
Because you with me on this? Like
Yeah.
you can get a referral from someone you've never worked with, guys. You guys with me on this? Like
Yeah.
you can get a referral. You just got to make sure
Well,
you set them up for success.
yeah, and we did something like this for Glenda Baker at Ella, where we did a message for her, and she didn't even know we sent it because it wasn't the newsletter, it was what we call the conversation starter.
Yeah.
And it was like a who do you know, right? It wasn't it, because we're sending it to her past clients in her sphere. So the message has to be different. You have the medium and you have the message.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're of course the messenger.
Yeah.
And so when we sent it, the way we framed it, which I think everybody could take advantage of this, we framed it in a very simple way. We said, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't reach out and ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was about getting, home value, thinking about selling soon. And the way that it was framed was, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. I like that a lot.
It's a great line. Our buddy Jimmy Burgess has a great line. You know, Jimmy Burgess from 30A.
Yeah.
He goes, I'd be in you could I can't do a 30A accent, but he said, I'd be the world's worst realtor if I didn't ask.
Exactly.
And I think it's a way to sort of lighten the mood. All right, so number 4 here, Chris, on the list is something you have pioneered, and I think it's important to kind of set the stage here because a lot of people, like right now, up until this point, we've been throwing fastballs, which is basically saying, hey, do this before the appointment goes live. Do this when the home's coming soon. Do this to get referrals. But
Yep.
one thing that you have mastered is you have mastered engagement. I mean, I can't think of anyone in real estate who gets more comments, more likes, more engagement, more shares than you. So you want to talk about this next strategy in terms of taking your listing and creating more engagement via email marketing?
Yeah. And if you can just forward it one for me. I study the tactics of the best marketing people in the world, and then I apply it to our industry. So I think that's probably what's a little bit different about you and I both, Jimmy, is we have a unique ability to find something that's insanely effective, maybe for a software company, maybe for a home services company, maybe for, a book launch or something, right? And then how could that work for our tribe, which is realtors looking to grow their business? And so I read this tip. I want to say it was Digital Marketer that I learned this from. And he sent an email that said, I just got the highest click-through rate of my whole career. And it was called the Faux Quiz. And so the nice thing about us working with so many top agents and teams is we can like just do it for someone to see if it works well. Well, this is a very fun one because this is one that's a lot like the last one, Jimmy, where this is something you can send your sphere, you can send your past clients, you can share it on social media. You could do this as a story with questions. You could do this as a reel and like say comment with your answer. You could do this anywhere, but the idea is, and this is one of my favorite tactics, can you guess the price? Only 1 in 4 people get it right. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen these mobile app games.
Oh yeah.
Where they'll say only 3% of people make it past level 5. That does something.
You know the one that gets me every time is the because I'm so vain and my ego is so fragile is the IQ test. People like, oh, so I'm always clicking on the IQ test, just making sure, right?
but I saw that, with a lot of these mobile games, they'll say, only blank percent, 98% of people couldn't get past level 3, right? So this idea is very simple. Can you guess the price? Question mark. Only 1 in 4 people get it right. Hey, Bethany, keep an eye on that for me. There we go. Thank you. I don't even know why people can unmute themselves, but so the thing is very simple. I just listed a home in Avalon Park and want to see if you can guess how much it's listed for. And I'm going to give a little bit of details. It's got 4 beds, 3 baths. It's 4,000 square feet. It's in the Timber Creek School District. has a pool and a lake view.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm being pretty specific there. I'm giving them some clues. Did we list it for 425, 550, 675, 720? Reply to this email and let me know if you guessed right, because people want to, they want to know. Now, why is this a faux quiz? The reason it's a faux quiz is because if you notice that all 4 answers are blue links. Well, what that blue link does is it takes people to your listing details page on your website.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to a listing details page for a listing, it has what, Jimmy? The price.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even need to create like a quiz or a form. You don't even have to have any sophisticated tool. If they click on 425 and it opens up and it says 675, they got it wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? If they click on 675 and it opens up to 675, they got it right. So to be really clear, you're using one link to one listing and you're putting that link in all 4 answers. The faux quiz. This got the highest click-through rate I've ever seen from a real estate email. Thank you guys for telling me how smart I am.
Yeah, there you go. You passed the online IQ test there, Chris.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that what's so smart about this, by the way, just a quick pro tip for everybody. This is a brilliant campaign. And then the reason why you would do this is because when your home has hit the market, it's now becoming harder for you to promote it because like the movie is already out in theaters. Everyone can basically look at the reviews before they see it. So when your home hits the market, this is when you have to start becoming more creative with ways to get more exposure for it, which is a perfect transition, Chris, into our strategy number 5 here, which is the idea of creating viral content around your listing. So at Listing Leads, we track over 1,500 of the top creators in real estate. And we look at, Chris, I mean like tens of thousands of Instagram reels, YouTube videos, and we identify what we refer to as the outliers, which is an outlier is, in this case, let's say that this agent, Kyle Talbot, on average gets 1,000 views for his videos that he uploads to YouTube. Well, this video got 25,000 views. And so this is an example when we think about your listing. One of the ways to be really creative when the home hits the market is to start creating highly viral content and then embedding your listing into that content. So as an example, if I have, let's say I'm doing Kansas versus Missouri. In this case, let's say I had a listing in Missouri and a listing in Kansas. Well, what I would do is I would basically in this video or in this long form article or this social media post, I would talk about the concept of A versus B, and then I would talk about my listing in that area. So if I'm doing Auburn, New Hampshire versus Bedford, I'll talk about all the reasons why people love Auburn. And oh, by the way, I'll mention the fact that I've got a listing in that market. And here's the more details about it. And then when I flip it, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other area. So many of you carry more than one listing at this point. We saw the data on that earlier, Chris. This is a way for you to kind of promote your existing listings in a really creative way. Now, Chris, building on this idea, we know like the A versus B works really well. There's another strategy you love here. This one is like, as they call it, a 100-bagger. It's a killer strategy. Talk us through the second type of campaign.
Yeah. So, and if you stop and reshare it, we can get the drawing off. But the second one, because the last one you just showed wasn't about a listing. This one, by the way, is about a price range of listings. Okay. Yeah. So if you ever go to like Google and search, see what $1 million gets you right now in blank. Okay. See what $1 million gets you in Orlando. See what $1 million gets you in Brooklyn. That is a proven formula, but the way most people use that tactic is they go to their website, they create a link to the IDX search results for all the listings at that price point. Great idea, by the way. For those of you that are a little light on listings, this is a great way to do it. But by the way, for those of you that want listings that are more expensive than the ones you're getting, this is a great way to promote a higher price point than you're on, right? So it's like, okay, see what $500,000 buys you in. And I'm guessing in Manhattan, it buys you, milk at the bodega. It doesn't buy you much. Now, here's all you have to do to apply this to your listings. You do the exact same thing.
Mhm.
See what $500,000 can buy you right now in Avalon Park. And instead of going to a listicle or a search result of a bunch of listings, you just link it to your listing that's in that price range. So that delivers on the promise.
Mhm.
See what 800,000 buys you right now. Click, you see an $800,000 home. So that's one way to do it. But the second one, because just that alone is going to get you massive clicks. But go back, because part 2 of this,
Mhm.
I talked earlier about the highest click-through rate ever in an email with the faux quiz. If you go back to the listing one, the highest click-through rate I've ever gotten on a Facebook ad for real estate was using this concept, but turning the corner and doing ranges, kind of like you said, comparisons.
Mhm.
So one way you could do it is see what $500,000 gets you in Kansas City, Missouri versus Kansas City, Kansas. And you would have a link to each of your listings in that ad. But the one that kills it is price ranges.
Mhm.
And what you're going to do is you're going to say, see the difference between a 700, 900, and $1.1 million listing.
Mhm.
See the difference between a $500,000 home for sale and $1 million home for sale. So you're able to use like 3 links in one piece of content, and it is so click worthy. But here's the little change. Those of you that have heard us talk about this before, again, if you don't have a listing in those price ranges, just use your search results and link to all the listings.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of people on the call, Jimmy. You saw they do over 50 deals a year, 30 years. Like they have listings all the time.
Mhm.
So all you do is use this exact formula for your own listings.
Yep.
Grab one from 3 areas and say, see the difference between Avalon, Baldwin Park, like Celebration, right? Grab one with square footage. See the difference between 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000 square foot homes. See what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you're basically just chopping it up. And because you have 3 links, not one, you very, very often will get triple the clicks. You'll get
Mhm.
somebody that wants to see all 3. So I'm in the feed on Facebook or I'm in your inbox and I click on the one that's in Avalon. Well, then I go look at it. It opens in the browser, and then I go back to Facebook, and then I click on the one from Baldwin Park.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden I'm getting more than one click from one ad. As you know, the more clicks you get, the more they're going to push your ad, and the cheaper the ad's going to be, and the more people it's going to get in front of. So this idea of comparisons is a big one.
Well, Chris, you mentioned earlier we were inspired by other brands outside of real estate, and I remember when we originally came up with this campaign, it was based on Wistia.
Yeah,
Wistia,
it
the
was a
company came up with,
video.
yeah, they did. What is $1,000, $10,000, and $100,000 video get you basically, which is like
Yes.
1,000 versus 10,000 versus 100,000, and it was
Mm-hmm.
this amazing series of basically how production quality increases with spend, but then there's like really not much more juice on the squeeze, if you will, when you get above like 10,000. It looks better, but not really $90,000 better. So
Yeah.
what we're trying to communicate here. Listen. By the way, just a quick shout out. This is a quick prompt you guys can all
Mm-hmm.
use. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to screenshot this, we will include this with the notes on the recording. But this is an example of if you want to basically create a long form video transcript based on what we just mentioned, you
Yep.
can use a prompt like this. But
Mm-hmm.
Chris, before we go any further here, I just want to call
Mm-hmm.
one thing out. We
Yeah.
have covered 5 of the 9 strategies. We talked about the pre-appointment strategy, the
Mm-hmm.
coming soon strategy,
Yep.
the fake quiz strategy. We talked about basically turning your listing into more listings through video content and using obviously the versus strategy. We
Mm-hmm.
got 4 more campaigns to cover.
Yeah.
Before we dive into any of that though,
Yep.
we promised everybody we would do a quick live demo of Beacon. So why
Yeah.
don't you set the stage for us here?
Sure. So Beacon is blowing up. And the way I think about this is you need to get good at marketing, step 1, which hopefully you guys are loving the call so far. If you're loving what you're learning, W's in the chat. Drop a W. This is what the streamers say, Jimmy. They don't say yes in the chat. They say W's in the chat. So for wins for the boomers, that means winning, wins. So W's in the chat are blowing up. Now, the most important thing that you do once you get good at marketing is you market your marketing and you communicate your marketing. Okay. And so that is what Beacon does. Beacon basically is the ultimate seller report that communicates not just your marketing, but everything you're doing. We think every listing deserves a beacon. And what we've learned is that people were trying to do this all kinds of ways before we built this. And it would take them over an hour. And with Beacon, it's less than 10 minutes. It's less than 5 minutes when you refresh it and send it for the second time. So if you look at like Julie Woods and Katie Lucy and I love Meredith. This is like quantum leap, like dial up versus fiber. And the one I love the most, look at the bottom left quote, Julie Gray Wells. I've had sellers calling me weekly for price reductions without it being a beatdown. Like she's getting people contacting her because of the beacon. So let's show everybody a beacon. I want you guys to go to buildyourbeacon.com. We'll have Bethany drop that in the chat. Buildyourbeacon.com. And all you do to start is click build your first beacon. You're all going to get a free trial and you're all going to be able to save 50% on your first month by using the promo code 9, N-I-N-E. Okay. 9. So go to build your beacon, click create account. When you get a 7-day free trial plus 30 days for half off, it's cancel anytime. The promo code is N-I-N-E. And you can see in the chat, we already have some beacon evangelists on the call. But what I want you guys to do is I want to show you how to create a beacon, how easy it is to do. So let me know if you guys are, we do have team accounts now, Kim. If you guys are on this page, so Jimmy, show where the promo code goes, capital N-I-N-E, apply. That takes the first payment down by half. And everybody gets a 7-day free trial. And we've already made a ton of upgrades, which we'll talk about here in a second. But once you guys get past this step, give me a B in the chat if you've gotten past this page, because I want actually for people to do this with us. So I know it'll take a second. Beacon is AI seller reports. B for beacon. We're getting some B's coming in. AI seller reports that take minutes, not hours to create, that are that ultimate communication tool. Geeking on Beacon. I love that, Ryan. Promo code 9, N-I-N-E. And by the way, I'm going to save this to the end, but the first 50 people that do this, that stick around past the free trial, I've got a crazy bonus at the end today that you're going to also get, but I'll talk about that at the end. It doesn't work in Canada yet, but it will. Hang tight. Canada's like the Android and America's like the iPhone. We get the stuff first, then you guys get it. Buildyourbeacon.com, throw a B if you're good to go. And then Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and walk everybody through creating a beacon?
Yeah, let me go ahead and reshare my screen here. Give me 1 second. And while I'm pulling this up here, there we go. Okay, so when it comes to building your beacon for the first time, like I'm one of our early power users. Her name's Shan Gillette. She's out of the Phoenix area. You guys probably follow her on Instagram. If you don't, you should. She's got currently 59 beacons for her listings, and I'm just going to go ahead and just give you an example of this. So this one of her properties. But let's say I wanted to create a beacon. All I'm doing is clicking on Create Beacon, and I'm going to go ahead and drop in the address to one of my listings. You can use, if you want, you can use a Zillow link, or you can just type in the address. Okay. And once I do that, Chris, it's going to go ahead and gather the information about the listing, the photo, the
Mm-hmm.
description, the days on market, the number of views. It's going to
Comps.
also pull down comps. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an existing beacon that we just created. So this is a little bit more robust than what the initial load will look like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally just adding an address and you are now off to the races.
Yeah. And then go to the part with the marketing, because this is what we're talking about. You're running all these campaigns.
Hmm.
Well, it connects to your social media. And
Correct.
so all you have to do is literally hit a plus. You literally hit a plus button. It
Hmm.
automatically adds a campaign to the beacon. And then if you go back to the preview, and it already works with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. But what it's doing, if you go down to the stats section here for me, it's actually calculating the performance of that listing across every channel.
Yep.
So 8,900 views on YouTube, 87 on Instagram, 724 on Facebook, 564 on Zillow. So, Jimmy, by the way, if you go back to that for 1 second, if I personally am Shannon, what do most realtors do? What, like, I can tell you, because I'm like the fan of the realtor. So I take all the heat from the consumers on Facebook. They're so mean to me when I say realtors are awesome. Well, there's a huge misconception that all you guys do is put it in the MLS. Anybody could do that. Well, if you look at this, all three of those platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, are outperforming Zillow, which is the
Hmm.
one where you just put it in the MLS. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, Jimmy, you'll see there are Shannon's campaigns for that listing. The last thing I want to show everybody is the comps, because this is super cool too. One of the things Shannon said during the kind of discovery phase is she said, I barely have enough time to keep them updated about their listing. How am I supposed to keep them updated about everything else as far as all the other properties? Well, you can see that the AI found the comps, and the AI actually writes out an analysis of their property versus the comps. So it'll show you, like, most active listings in the area are priced between 405 and 429 with varying sizes and features, but few match your home's newer build and 4-bedroom layout. So this is a beacon, and it's super cool. You can add tasks. If you go to the very bottom, Jimmy will show tasks really quick. If you're doing Zillow Showcase, Realtor.com, if you've got List Track, you can add any task, any campaign from social media, all the comps, and literally everything you're seeing takes less than 10 minutes. So buildyourbeacon.com. And Jimmy, one other thing, and for the Beacon users on the call, I wanted you to show this, because we started off by pulling in Zillow and Redfin automatically, but we've got a major update coming in the next week and a half. Show everybody what it's about to look like just by putting in an address.
Yeah, so super quick, just one more thing to call out, Chris, because we got a bunch of questions about this last time we did a live Beacon training session. One of the things that we keep saying at Beacon is we say every listing deserves a beacon.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're also saying every listing deserves a beacon and every agent needs a portfolio. And so
Mm-hmm.
when Shannon's been using Beacon now for a little over probably 8 weeks, and Shannon now has a history of every single listing she's ever basically now listed and sold, along with
Mm-hmm.
every single marketing campaign that she has and every single sort of update that she has for that particular beacon. This has
Mm-hmm.
becomes this incredible body of work. And to your
Mm-hmm.
point earlier, Chris, I think the challenge right now that we're trying to solve and what we really believe to be true is that the consumer will never appreciate the work you do if they don't see it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
and we want to solve that problem. And I want to call out
Mm-hmm.
one more feature before I show what's coming next, because we are on our game right now, releasing features to make this thing better and better and better every single
Mm-hmm.
week. Chris, one thing that we use AI for, because we
Mm-hmm.
saw so many people doing this right now. Actually, let me know in the chat. Are you using AI? And you could just type in AI in the chat, because now we're streamers. We have to have just fancy letters here. But if you're using AI to write your seller messages, so when you go to update your seller on, hey, what's going on in the market, what's going on with comps, what's going on with my marketing, are you using AI? Are you using ChatGPT to help you like refine the message? Just let us know in the
Yeah.
chat. You can say, yep, absolutely. So we have this really powerful feature was once you've got your beacon rocking and rolling, when you click on share, we actually will ingest all the data that we have, all the campaigns that we just coach you on how to do, the pre-appointment, the coming soon, the just listed, all that stuff. We'll ingest all that data and we'll create an update for you to send to your seller. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do is take this really long process and just get it down to being as automated as humanly possible. So Chris, you mentioned a new feature before we get to our next 4 viral listing tactics. The new feature that we're working on, which I think you guys are going to love, is we're going to now give you the ability, and I'm giving you kind of a preview of the back end here. We're going to give you the ability to add in additional websites beyond Zillow and Redfin. So we'll have like homes.com and realtor.com and Trulia. And of course, we'll have social media. But then we'll also have your website, your broker's website. And what's really powerful about this is in the back end of Beacon, you're going to be able to control this, meaning you can create, we're going to give you a bunch of defaults, but then you can add in whatever websites you want us to use to find your listing. And the use cases, we got a lot of people who syndicate their websites to like major news organizations, like whether that's the New York Times or Market Watch or Wall Street Journal. You know, there's like these websites that they want to make sure the consumer can see, you know, their home on these websites. So this new listing website feature, which we're rolling out next week, is going to give you the ability to create your defaults. And then every time you create a beacon and every time you refresh a beacon, we will go use AI to find your listing on these websites and make sure they get added to your report.
And we can put your site and your brokerage site right at the top, which I think is exactly really nice touch. So yeah, buildyourbeacon.com, NINE. And the first 50 people that did that, because it's probably already more than 50, but the first 50 people are getting a super bonus at the end of the call. Let's keep it moving, Jimmy. Let's get into the next 4 tactics. We got 26 minutes.
So this tactic here, again, everything that we're talking to you about today, and I think Chris, I think the timing on this is perfect because right now it's November 13th when we're recording this training session. And so much of the next sort of 2 months, I think is, you know, updating your SOPs to make sure you could have an incredible 2026. And I'm reminded of a Gary Keller quote. When Gary Keller said, we've gone from a speed-based market to a skills-based market. And what we're trying to do is get you coached up on the skills that we want you to learn to be able to take every listing you have and turn it into more listings. So the next tactic here is from my friend, Sam RP. So I was actually at a mastermind with Sam about 2 weeks ago. Our buddy Jason Cassidy put the event on, Jason Cassidy and Charlie King. And we had a great session. Sam was there. Sam is a really interesting story because I did an event back in Boston maybe 12 months ago. And I got a DM from this dude. He said, hey, and by the way, it's always dudes who DM me. He said, hey man, just want to say how much I appreciate your session today. Really helpful. By the way, I'm killing it on Instagram. At the time, he generated about $135,000 in commission. Fast forward a year later, he has generated $400,000 in commission in the last 24 months. Prior to that, it was zero. So this guy is making from Instagram alone, effectively, Chris, like 7 to 10x more than the average agent makes an entire year he's getting from Instagram.
Yeah.
And his strategy.
Well, we just dropped his link, by the way. Bethany just put it in the chat if you guys want to follow him. But what the heck is he doing?
It's crazy. Well, like this is, you'll appreciate this because you love this stuff. You can see he's got 3.8 million views just year to date, up 900%. And what he does is something called the faceless creator movement. So he takes a listing video, and let me make sure the audio is working on this one here. He takes a listing video, and I'm going to play this video. He's done 50 of these, Chris, 50 of these, 118,000 likes, 2,400 comments. Let's just play the video.
Want to buy a condo that is directly across from the public garden in downtown Boston? Well, come take a tour of 95 Beacon Street, an 1,130 square foot 2-bed, 2-bath residence asking $2,395,000. The property features beautiful architectural details throughout. You have the tall ceilings, molding, and trim work in each room. Your kitchen right here has custom cabinetry and high-end appliances, which then leads into your living room with a fireplace. Next, we'll find the primary suite with custom built-in closet storage on each side, as well as a marble ensuite bathroom with a shower. Now, we skipped by this in the beginning, but off the foyer, you'll find your second bedroom and then your second full bathroom. So what do you think? Would you want this to be your next home? Let me know in the comments.
And I'll just pop
That's
there.
so good. And what I love about that, Jimmy, is number one, it's 44 seconds.
Correct.
And that is what people are looking for nowadays. Not everybody, but people have such short attention spans. So I would even lean into that if I was him. I was like, hey, if you got 44 seconds, I'll show you the whole house. Like, I love that. The other thing I'll say, and this is for people that are members of the conversion club or people that become a member, and we're going to give you guys a chance to do that for free, by the way. We did a 3-hour vertical video workshop. And Will Draper, who's really, really talented, he taught this exact tactic.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Sam saw that or if Will saw Sam, but like he taught it, and it's such a good class. So if anybody is in the club or joins the club, make sure you find the Will Draper video because it's really good. But I think what a lot of people are going to be drawn to here, Jimmy, is the faceless. Like, you know, like, I mean, I love doing videos and stuff like this, but I don't want to be on camera all the time. You know, that's really appealing, actually. And one of the little things I'll say that Will taught is like, you're not doing these at the same time. Okay. You just filmed the house, and he even talks about where to hold the camera. Like, it's really good. But he also talks about how you do the voiceover later.
Yeah.
And how you speed up the video so that your 3 minutes of footage becomes 44 seconds. So anyway, I love this idea, and I think it should be an SOP.
Well, let's build on it, Chris, because this is part one of the funnel. Which, and by the way, to be clear, goes back to our friend Joe Herrera, which is it doesn't actually have to be your listing. Meaning you can get permission from a listing agent if you want to feature them, who's willing to basically let you do this, and you can leverage it and you can source them. So a lot of Sam's videos are other agents' listings. And again, the bottom line is $400,000 in GCI in the last 24 months. But what Sam has done is he has built, there's something I teach a lot about it, which is using it like, so one of the things that I try to do with Instagram is I try to provide a ton of value. I try to be the most useful person to follow Instagram, giving them marketing tips and sales tips. But ultimately, I define my success not by the number of followers, the number of engagement, by the amount of money I make from Instagram. That's what I ultimately care about. If you want to make money on Instagram, you need to have an Instagram lead funnel. This is important. So you need to have, like in Sam's case, and you could use many examples of this, but in Sam's case, a way to get lots of views and lots of follows. So that's where Reels come into play. So this faceless creator movement helps you get lots of views, helps you get lots of follows. Stories is where you can drive a ton of engagement. Now that you're growing your following, your stories can go from being seen by 30 people to 100 to 300 to 500 to 1,000. Sam has stories, you'll see in a second, that generate over 20 inbound DMs. And I mean, these are not like cold internet leads. These are warm conversations that actually lead to appointments. And then, as I mentioned, DMs is where the magic happens. So what Sam does is Sam uses those videos, Chris, to get lots of exposure, lots of views, lots of follows. Then he uses stories like this to generate inbound conversations. And so as he's getting thousands of views, he'll basically then post, hey, who's looking for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, over 1,700 square feet, and with garage parking, which is a lot in Boston, under $1 million. And by the way, Chris, notice he doesn't have like a link or a poll. That's it, right? It's like it's a little bit like, this is like, I would call this a speakeasy poll, right? Or story. It's not obvious where the door is, which makes you want to figure it out even more. 25 inbound conversations from this one campaign. So just on the last thing on Instagram is, my advice is for everyone who's listening is, and I'll let you end on this one, Chris, which is like, have the video, use the polls, but make sure when it comes to using your listings, you have an Instagram lead funnel to take every listing and turn it to more appointments on Instagram.
Yeah, that's great. And I also even just like the way he wrote that, like, who's looking, not are you looking? Because who's looking, you may think of someone, oh, actually my daughter is looking, like, oh, my cousin's looking, oh, my ex-wife is looking, right? Like there's all kinds of people that could be looking. All right, let's keep it moving. We got three more
Yep.
to get to the
Uh,
nine.
in the
Instagram lead funnel, check.
Instagram lead funnel, number 7 here on the list. How many of you, but in the chat, actually, let us know, what is the most amount of people you've had through an open house this year? Just give us a ballpark in the chat. 5, 10, 15, 20. Like, what's the most amount of people you've had through an open house? Okay, so we got right now,
Mhm.
damn, Devin starting off with 35, 25, 6, 2, 10,
Whoa.
35. Who's the winner here, Chris?
Someone had 163. Someone had 150. I don't know if they're
Wow.
adding all of them, but if that's for
Yes.
one.
Yeah, just off of one. So one of the biggest things, Chris, when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to leveraging your listings to create more listings, and we
Mm-hmm.
talked about the beginning of today's session, is this idea of understanding marketable moments.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chris, number 7 on the list is my friend Trey Serrano, who sent a magic buyer letter out on the back of an open house.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, just for the record, he got 2 listings, not appointments, 2 listings from neighbors when he sent this letter out. 50
Mm-hmm.
letters, Chris. Hey, Chris, I know we haven't met in person, but I thought you should know this past weekend we held a couple open houses and saw 7 people come through. We're
Mm-hmm.
reviewing offers right now. My clients can only choose one to move forward with one. I promised the families that came through the open house I would follow up with the neighbors to see if anyone is in their forever home or consider moving out to the neighborhood. There are 7 other families who are currently looking to purchase a home here as soon as it comes in the market. If you're in your forever home, throw this letter in the trash. Everyone's saying you live in an incredible community. I don't blame you for staying. Now, if it's
Nice.
possible, right? Like, I mean, this is just a great example of the anti-sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this is something you considered, I may have a buyer. All I need is a quick text letting you know that that what you've updated, and I can whip up an updated value. If you're interested, let's have a conversation. So this letter, 50 doors, 2 listings. And so the lesson here when it comes to your listings is you blow up your open houses to get as many
Mm-hmm.
people through that home as possible, create as much exposure as possible, and obviously try to get your clients a buyer. But
Yeah.
then don't just stop there. Turn the
Mm-hmm.
corner. And
Mm-hmm.
again, by the way, this you can use Breakthrough Broker for this. Make a list of homes nearby that have owned the house for more than 7 years, maybe 10 years, have 50% equity, and
Yeah.
then mail 100 doors this
Yep.
message. Chris,
I like
do
that.
this at the open house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before anyone shows up, or like after, as soon as you end it, take 30 minutes and just do this.
Yeah.
This is how you take a listing in an open house and turn it into more listings.
Yeah. Breakthroughbroker.com. By the way, watch this, Jimmy. W's in the chat if you guys want us to do a class on packing out your open houses. I'm interested to know if like there's a lot of demand for that. Yeah, look at that, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And we can leverage the community to help us with this. But like, there's a couple agents that have reached out to me and they're just like, dude, I have a line around the corner every single open house, no matter the price point, no matter the location. Like, there's a science to having 150 people instead of 5 people. It
That's
looks like
exactly
there's a
right.
lot of demand for that. And then just to circle back to Beacon for 1 second, one of my favorite things you can do is you can add the open house or the showing or
Mm-hmm.
the broker open, and you can actually put how many people came to the open house. So if you're actually getting a bunch of people in an open house, absolutely add that to your Beacon, put the number of attendees, and then that's going to go on the report as well, which is super cool. What we've learned is that showings and open house attendees are worth more to a lot of sellers than how many TikTok views you got of your last video.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jimmy just did it that quickly. You added an open house, and then I guess if you show the preview again, it shows up right away. Just super cool.
Yeah. So Chris, I'll pull up so you guys can all see
Yeah.
this. And let me just delete this because I'm actually in a live account here. Sorry, Shannon. So Chris, on that same note,
Yep. We got
one
2
of
to
the
go.
one of the most successful campaigns you've ever sent
Mm-hmm.
was on your book. And I think because now you've written a couple books. I
4.
actually
Yeah.
forgot how many books you've written. 'Cause I was doing a
4.
webinar with you before. I forgot People Work, which is the original one, Conversion Code, exactly
Mm-hmm.
what to say. Now Conversion Code number 2,
Mm-hmm.
the updated version. So why don't you talk through this next strategy here, and I'll go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is another strategy that I kind of found out in the wild, which was the apology email. So are so many companies, influencers, like you guys have probably seen it. Like there's a lot of people that have to apologize for doing stupid stuff lately. And so I think it was I can't even remember the tech company that did it, but basically if you send an apology and you say I screwed up
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sorry, it is by far the most clickbait subject line you could ever use. So this is the high. This is crazy, Jimmy. I got an 80% open rate sending an email to 20,000 people. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Unheard of.
I can't even get an 80% open rate if I send something to my family and my friends. Like, so the subject line, this is the actual email. There's a screenshot. The subject line was, I'm sorry about your Amazon order.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a good subject line, right? I'm leveraging the apology, but I'm also leveraging Amazon, which everybody orders from. But it was real. My book was supposed to come out tomorrow, but Amazon screwed up. And now it comes out May 3rd. I was pissed. That said, I already announced the bonuses. So this is your last chance to get them. If you've pre-ordered, thank you. It's already a bestseller. It's not out yet. If you have not pre-ordered, submit your proof of purchase to get the bonuses. You can go to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Target to buy the book, right? And that got an 80% open rate. So I started thinking, how can we use this with a listing? Because these are 9 viral tactics to market your listings. And so this one is actually incredibly easy. This is going to take us into just sold. This is probably the most unique and creative way to do a just sold that I've ever seen. And this is an email that you're going to send to all your buyer leads. And before I go through this, I want to know in the chat, give me a W, if you have sold a home recently that you never emailed your database about. Look at this, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Okay. So you guys, a lot of times you don't need to, or you forget to, or you don't. Okay. So here's what I want you guys all to do, because you guys can all do this literally today. Go back to the template. We're going to send this to all our buyer leads, and we're literally going to use the subject line, I screwed up and need to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to get you the most ridiculous open rate you've ever seen. I'm sorry. Last week, I sold a listing in Avalon Park and never sent it to you first. When you joined my list, I promised to send you properties before everyone else, and I didn't do that. Do you still want me to send you the next one early?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this will blow up. The open rate is through the roof. And then you get these hand raisers that says, yes, send me the next one. Yes, send me the next one. So I'm sorry, I screwed up. I need to apologize. When I put you in my database, I said I'd send you listings first. I already sold one. I didn't even send you. And then see where it says listing? And it's not clickable, Jimmy, but the word listing is linked to the sold on the website. So you link to the listing you sold on the website. So you get a crazy amount of opens. You're still showcasing a just sold. And then you get a ridiculous amount of replies from buyers that are letting you know they're still in the market and they still want more listings. The apology email is amazing.
And this is a great example of a basic marketing tactic known as pattern interrupt, which is you normally don't get an email like this unless there's something worth paying attention to. And probably the best example of this, Chris, I can think of is when KFC in the UK ran out of chicken. Did you remember that story? So they ran a big ad that basically said, "Hey, we effed up," and it was like an empty container of KFC chicken, and it was like this massive apology campaign. Well, the fact that they did an apology campaign on the back of actually screwing up
Yeah.
drove so much brand awareness and ultimately sales for KFC. So it is a fantastic tried and true tactic in the old marketing kind of playbook that you can leverage for your listings. Chris, we got two more here that we'll end with. We promised everyone to give 9, and we have a bonus one for you.
Yeah, but we're real quick though. Brooke had a good comment. How often can you use this? You can't use this very often
Yeah, yeah,
because then it becomes annoying. So I've
sure.
only done it once. I never did it again. I would maybe do it yearly, something like that. Like, hey, I screwed up. I forgot to invite you to our client party. Here's a link to the photos and the videos that we took while we were there.
That's exactly right.
But yeah,
I
you
think for
don't
those,
go to the well too often when you because this is like such a smart and effective tactic once, but yeah, like it's almost immediately annoying the next time you do it. And somebody was asking, like, with the conversion code, everything was like landing page, lead capture, drip, sales, ISAs, call. What's changed is that people are annoyed with those tactics.
mm-hmm.
And people are annoyed having those tactics applied to them. And people are annoyed having to do those tactics to grow their business. So, what we're teaching today is how to do inbound content marketing that
Mm-hmm.
generates higher quality leads that are much easier to convert. Almost every single thing we've talked about today is a conversation starter. And there's one thing that hasn't changed, it's that conversations are what create commission. Number
That's
9,
exact.
Jimmy. Last
Well,
one.
that's a perfect segue, Chris. Because so Tom Ferry and I did this program called 100K in 100 Days, which is the largest listing attraction experiment in history. We had over 2,500 agents participate, and this was Q4 of 2023, which is arguably one of the worst quarters in real estate history.
Yeah.
And we helped those 2,500 agents secure $20+ billion in signed agreements, buy side and sell side. And the big lesson we learned, to echo Chris's point here, was that approximately 11 conversations equals an appointment. So everything we're doing from the pre-appointment to the coming soon to the viral content to the social media faceless creators to the apology email, everything is around having more conversations. Now, number 8 on the list here, just building on this idea of when you sell a property, one other alternative to use as well is this idea of the what I would kind of refer to as the anti just sold. And right now, I think when it comes to marketing, oftentimes we always like are drawn to we got to make sure that we look really good in all the campaigns we create. So let's say as an example, in 2021, you were selling a house in 3 days above ask price with multiple offers. But now fast forward to 2025, going into 26, maybe that same listing is taking you 75 days to sell it. Maybe you got like 2 offers and maybe you sold at 97% of the ask price. In
Yeah.
your mind, you've told yourself a story that you can't promote that. That's not impressive. But the thing that you have to remember is everything is about context. And so when you look at the market, whereas that maybe was unimpressive 4 years ago, when you compare it to what's happening right now, maybe that's actually very impressive. So what Scott Stedman did, which I love this campaign. First off, on the right-hand side, this is the front of the postcard. Not all homes are selling. This one did. And he actually used a Google map of basically highlighting the home or a Google kind of screenshot, and then it has like a little bit of a call out there. And on the left side of the postcard, it goes, the market's bumpy. Some buyers bail, others stall. Many homes don't sell into the third or fourth offer. This home had multiple offers. The first deal collapsed when the buyer got cold feet. We regrouped, kept the momentum, delivered the right price, the right terms, and got a clean close. Even if you have no plans to sell, knowing what this market means for your home is smart. Scan this QR code. Chris, this is to me is what I would refer to as the perfect just sold postcard when you're not selling a house in 3 days above ask with multiple offers. This demonstrates to the consumer in a clear and compelling way that you're really good at your job. The fact that he says, hey, this thing fell apart and then we regrouped. And the thing that we want you to do, Chris and I talk about this all the time, is we want you to show the sweat.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do is like show the sweat. That's what people are buying is they're not buying like if it's easy to do, then anyone can do it. What they're looking
Yeah.
for is someone who's experienced and can get the job done. So Chris,
Yeah.
number 9 on the list.
I was just going to show one thing because I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, of
This is you remember our buddy Rivers Pierce?
course.
So he's actually doing marketing now for Energy Realty, ENRG dot realty. And so I saw his thing on LinkedIn, hadn't seen him in a while. And I absolutely love the headline on their website. It's very much like what you just said. It's a challenging market. We're here to help. Like I would lean into this big time. I would be saying, you don't always need a realtor, but you do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a great line from the chief operating officer of Stripe, Chris. She said, like, coaching now, Stripe's one of the most valuable companies in the world, private company, going to go public pretty soon here. She has this great line. She goes, say the thing that you don't think can be said.
Yeah.
And I think that's really applicable when it comes to marketing, which is think about the thing that you don't think you can say and then say that. That's what actually really resonates. So Chris, last one here for us, because we have a bunch of bonuses we want to give away today.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and share my entire desktop again. So one of the things that we've been really bullish on is that when you have every single listing you take on, and every single listing you market and listing sell, you now have your portfolio within Beacon. And I'm going to just show one example of what you can do. But the beauty of this, because right now, just to give some contrast, Chris, and context, right now, if I asked, and actually, let's just do this in the chat. If I wanted to find a list of all the homes you've sold and all the things that you've done to sell those houses, could I find that on your website today? Yes or no? So if I want to say like the last, not a W, yep, yes or no?
Well, W's yes and L is no, Jimmy. Come on.
Okay, all right.
Catch
So
on.
now everyone's gonna be confused. Now people are just typing in AI. So would I be able to find an example of the homes you've sold in the last year and what you've done to sell them? Like what I'm really referring to here, Chris, is a like seller case study.
Sure.
And so our belief
because a lot of people, by the way, they get caught up on the fact that like, oh, you can't display a sold for more than 7 days here. Like that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the address and the pictures and the sold price. Like we're talking about the story.
That's exactly right. And so what you're looking at right now with what the reason why we build Beacon is we believe every listing deserves a beacon. We think every agent needs a portfolio. You need a place where you can showcase all your work. You can use it in a listing appointment. You can use it obviously to communicate with your sellers. But then also when you sell the house, you want to use that material you created to create a carousel, to create a success story, to create a sales letter. And oh, by the way, let me give you an example of this, Chris. So what I did is I went to a Beacon for Shannon Gillette of a home that she was selling. And I used Claude to create a press release for that listing. And let me just drop this. By the way, this was using just Beacon's data because she's already logged everything. I used Claude, and you guys can check it out right now. And this is the prompt. This is the prompt, right? There you go. Here's the listing. And this thing looks like a magazine article featuring the success of the campaign, the showings, the comparables, the market context, right?
Beautiful.
Just a beautifully designed case study of basically the home. And all I did was take the content in Beacon, copy it, go to Claude, and have Claude create a direct or a just sold press release campaign. So
it's beautiful. I mean, that could be a press release. That could be a page on your website. Like that's really good. And this is another reason why like all of your sweat equity shouldn't just be in an email. And by the way, your seller update doesn't count if it's no showings. Like that's not a seller update. So yeah, I love that. That was awesome. And you could edit it. You could have put some pictures in there, but you're right, man. That looks so professional. And so, yeah, like imagine if you had 100 of those, and then imagine if they were sortable by neighborhood or price point or property type, because then you're going to have this archive of like all these really unique scenarios that will do what our buddy Phil Jones says, which is show me that you know me. You know, if I live in Avalon Park and my home's worth $1 million, not really that worried about the $400,000 home over in Baldwin Park that you sold last week. Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, these agents have a portfolio of listings. It's great. So let's get into the bonus, Jimmy, and then we're going to wrap it up. Everyone's asking about the recording. If you want the recording, give me a W in the chat. I want to see if people want this thing. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody. Okay. So here's what happens next. I am going to hook you guys up. So the Conversion Club is my private group coaching community. It's based on my books. It's based on all my content. I think, if you go to the next slide for me, Jimmy, I think it's the best coaching and training portal, especially for marketing and sales in the industry by far. Now, Jimmy, obviously today really brought it. Like, here's what I'm hoping for you today, Jimmy. I'm hoping some women DM you because you said only men DM you. I want all the ladies on the call
Come on.
to DM
Come
Jimmy
on.
and tell him that you thought he did a great job because he's only
Thank
getting
you.
DMs from dudes. So the Conversion Club, if you go to
Cut
the
that
next
from the
slide for
recording,
me,
Bethany.
Jimmy, just don't let your wife see your DMs today. So the Conversion Club is not just me, is the point I'm trying to make. Like, these are the smartest people in the industry. I happen to know a lot of really smart people. Mark Davison, who, by the way, did the branding and the logo for Beacon, props to Mark. He actually has a class in there about building your brand and branding. The really cool thing about the club is that every single session is 2 to 3 hours. These are monster classes. These are not 30-minute quick hitters. Today was 90 minutes. Amy Youngren, she actually brought her ISAs, her inside sales team, on the call to teach. Like, if you're in the club, let people in the chat know like how good it is, because obviously I'm trying to sell it and I want you guys to be excited about it, but we're actually about to give it away for free. If you see Ken Pozek in the middle, he's like one of the best YouTubers in the real estate business by far. He teaches YouTube. It's kind of like masterclass for realtors. Will Draper with the microphone, Will Draper, he's the one that taught the vertical video class. You guys love that video that got Jason fined. Remember how it got Jason fined? That's Jason. He teaches Instagram in the Conversion Club. So, Jimmy, let me give everybody the details on the bonus. And I might even actually open it up bigger. But the Conversion Club already has, thank you, Patrick. The Conversion Club already has over 35 workshops on demand as soon as you log in. It's $600 per year, $50 per month. Every workshop has cheat sheets, slides, and an audio version you can listen to. There's all kinds of bonuses like docs with tons of AI prompts, over 100 advanced prompts that you get right away. His last name is Pozek, Laura, Ken Pozek. There's also courses. So there's the workshops, but there's 2 courses. One is the conversion course, which is literally like going to college for my book. That's $1,000 course. And then Jimmy and I did the exactly what to say for real estate agents course. That's a $799 course. Both of those courses are included in the club. So what we'll do is we're going to take this recording and we're going to take all the slides and we're going to put them in the Conversion Club. But we are going to give you guys until the end of day tomorrow to watch the replay and access the slides before we put them into the portal. Now, what I'm going to do, and you can see it's just the Beacon promo code. The first 50 people that do the free trial of Beacon and use the promo code 9, N-I-N-E, if you go to the next slide, Jimmy, buildyourbeacon.com, or you can scan the QR code. You get a week for free. You get half off your first month. And I'm going to give you guys a lifetime membership to the Conversion Club. You can become a Conversion Club member forever as long as you get through that first month with Beacon. If you already have Beacon, great question, Mance. If you already have Beacon, you can actually, Jimmy, I don't know if you want to pull this up, but it's basically my short URL, conv.codes/club, conv.codes/club. But I really want everybody to use Beacon. So basically, you're getting a free membership to the Conversion Club for life just by trying out Beacon for 1 month. If you guys can't figure that out, you don't know, you want to join the club, you already have Beacon, just email me, Chris at buildyourbeacon.com. And Jimmy, this has been great, man. Thank you for hopping on. We are going to blow this thing up. Beacon is going to get better and better and better. You can also go to conversion.thinkific.com. But if you just search Google, just Google the Conversion Club, Chris Smith. That's probably the fastest way to find it. But yeah, guys, this is going to be so cool. If you're already a Beacon client, thank you. If you're becoming one today, thank you. If you have any issues, contact us, reach out to us. We'll take great care of you. But this has been good, Jimmy. 9 viral listing tactics. We definitely lived up to the promise. One last word. I'll throw it to you to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, 2 things real quickly. For everyone who's signing up for Beacon right now and all of our existing members, be on the lookout in your email inbox. We're going to do a deep dive training come Monday. Well, I'll personally walk you through how to make sure your account's set up properly, make sure you're connected, make sure you're using it the right way. So today's Thursday. Be on the lookout Monday. We're going to send out a live invite to that session. And the last note, Chris, I want to add is just a quick shout and thank you to our co-sponsor of this event, Breakthrough Broker. We appreciate them helping us fill this room, get more people part of today's session. These are 9 ideas, 9 proven tactics that you can use to take every listing and turn it into more listings. And ultimately, going into 2026, our goal is very simple. We want to just make you as successful as you possibly can be. We want you to stop relying on these third-party lead generation tools and sources. We want to get you back in the driver's seat so you have complete control over your business. We hope today's session was incredibly helpful, and we will see you guys again soon because we are going to do another one of these sessions, I'm sure, in the very, very near future. Chris, great work today, my friend, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, you guys keep an eye on your inbox. I'm going to get this recording out to you as fast as humanly possible so that you get at least 24 hours with it. But thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.